one thing.
What is one thing that you want people to know about your pain research?
Hi, Josh. Thanks for having me. One thing I want people to know about my pain research is that opioid pain medicines aren't as effective as we thought they might be. So, my research investigates the benefits and harms of medicines for musculoskeletal pain, and I've got a particular interest in opioids. Most people have heard of them. They're described as strong painkillers, and we use them for moderate to severe pain that needs something powerful. They've been used for a long time. Most people are also already familiar with the fact that they're quite dangerous. They've got these short-term risks, things like making people dizzy, where they might fall over and hit their head. Also longer-term risks like becoming dependent or maybe developing an addiction, even accidentally overdosing and dying from them. So, given these dangers that we know about, we would want opioids to work well so that it's worthwhile taking on these risks. But despite how long they've been used and how frequently they are used, there isn't actually that much supportive evidence showing that they are this powerful, strong painkiller that we hoped they were. Yeah, it is very challenging. And I guess there's two different populations we're talking about here. So there's people who are not already using opioids, they've developed a new pain, and there's a decision about whether to start them on opioids or not. That's one group of people. And then there's another group that are already using opioids. They might have been on them for a long time. That's a much more complicated group, and it's not as simple as just stopping using opioids, even despite this evidence coming out showing that they might not be effective, because it can cause people serious harm suddenly stopping opioids. So I want to be clear that there's these sort of two populations. The new users is mainly what I'll be referring to today.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Are there use cases where it does have evidence?
It's probably easier for me to talk you through where there is evidence of lack of effect. So I might start there and then we'll see what's left afterwards. So I was involved in a trial called Opal that tested an opioid painkiller against a placebo or a nothing pill for acute low back and neck pain. And that's a really common type of pain. Most of us have probably experienced at least one episode of it, but it can be really severe and debilitating, and to the point sometimes where people go out and seek care. So we recruited people that were either going to their GP or to the emergency room with back and neck pain, randomized them to the opioid or the placebo, and then monitored their pain and other outcomes for up to a year. And interestingly, in the short term, we found that the opioid was no better than the placebo at treating pain. And what I find the most interesting is the group that had the opioid in the long term had worse pain, worse function, and worse mental health, even 6 to 12 months after this short-term episode of using an opioid painkiller.
Yeah, wow, there's just so many like really important questions following on from this work. So I can imagine you've got your work cut out for you. Thank you so much for sharing this today, and I hope it starts lots of like truly beneficial and worthwhile conversations.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me.